the energy of a person with an aura that no one forgets. How to become the person everyone remembers. How to develop your aura. A person with an aura doesn't shout, doesn't ask for attention, doesn't force anything. He enters a room and you can already feel his presence without speaking. That's aura. And that's not magic, it's cultivated energy. Aura is your nonverbal presence. Aura is your posture, your gaze, your rhythm, your silence. Real self-esteem doesn't need announcing, it shows. A person with aura doesn't beg for love. They don't justify themselves. They don't make themselves smaller to fit in. They walk with their back straight, shoulders open, and head held high, even if they're afraid inside. Because the body teaches the mind, amen? Just as the mind also teaches the body. A person with aura speaks with intention, not anxiety. He doesn't fill silences out of nervousness. Conscious silence is power. True aura emerges when you balance two energies, feminine and masculine energies. Feminine energy consists of presence, calmness, magnetism, and mystery. It doesn't rush, it doesn't chase, it flows. Masculine energy is direction, decisiveness, focus, and clear boundaries. When both are integrated, total energetic authority emerges. The person who rarely speaks, but everyone listens when he does. Not because he dominates others, but because he dominates himself. A person with aura doesn't react from the ego. He chooses when to speak and when to withdraw. Because his energy is worth more than any argument. And remember, people don't respond to what you say. They respond to what you embody, to what you make them feel. Every time you straighten up, breathe, choose to remain silent with presence, or respect your boundaries, you're building your aura. Your power isn't in being liked, it's in standing your ground. Write below in the comments. My presence speaks before my words. How you give a hug says a lot about you. There's something that almost no one tells you. A hug can either shift attraction or kill it instantly. Here are also some tips for men to hug the woman they like better. Look, not all hugs mean the same thing. In fact, the body speaks before the mouth does. For example, a one-armed hug, when you hug a woman like this and she hugs you back with just one arm, usually signals distance. It's polite and proper, but emotionally neutral. The subconscious message, confío pero no me acerco del todo. Observe this. When a woman hugs you from behind, unexpectedly and with surprise, it usually means that she trusts you. The previous emotional play, as you say, is not a coincidence. This gesture appears when her body feels safe with you. Another key detail that almost no man understands, the distance between the bodies. Sometimes we are in a hug but very far apart, or the pelvises are very far apart. So, when the bodies are kept apart in some way, the message is one of friendship or little trust or fear of rejection. When there is natural closeness without tension, the message changes completely. And here comes one of the most common horrors. Many men place their hand too high on the back, one hand here, another here very high. That communicates neutrality, even insecurity. A hand a little lower without overstepping, but a little lower conveys presence, calm, intention. It conveys desire. The body understands it before the mind does. Important scientific fact. It's also important to understand that a hug lasting more than 20 seconds releases oxytocin, reduces stress, and strengthens the emotional bond. These hugs shouldn't be forced. You have to create the moment. Attraction doesn't come from rushing. It comes from being present. The key isn't to touch more, but to be more aware. Because when a hug is remembered, it's no longer just a hug. It has planted a seed of desire, of good vibes. The body always tells the truth, even when the mind doubts. Now tell me, what do you think your hugs say about you? Write it in the comments. You can also write in the comments, a loving hug. And in general, advice for men. Hug with a little more presence. Maybe place your hand a bit lower without being inconsiderate. And if the pelvises, for whatever reason, if the bodies and pelvises are much closer, that gives a greater sense of intimacy and good vibes. To also create a better connection between partners or between people who want to become a couple. How can you recognize someone who has a high vibration? Point number 1. Animals feel safe in their presence. Point number two, people tend to feel attracted to them without really knowing why. Point number three, strangers feel inclined to talk and share their life stories. Point number four, they can feel the energy in the atmosphere as soon as they enter a room. Point number five, some people get irritated by them just for being their true, authentic selves. Point number six, they calm the atmosphere and the people around them just with their energy and presence. Point number seven, they feel free from drama in their relationships. Right below, I'm no longer interested in negative behaviors. Did you know that there are people who don't like to be hugged, kissed, or shown affection? And that, in addition, they come across as very cold in their interpersonal relationships, whether with family, partners, or friends. One possible cause is that during their childhood they felt the absence of their parents or felt that they received very little affection from them. Let me remind you that perfect parents don't exist, and even if they did, all children grow up with some kind of childhood wounds such as abandonment, rejection, betrayal, injustice, or insecurity. Right below, now that I'm an adult, I have the ability and therefore the obligation to heal. Or maybe I'm not that much of an adult.